Another problem is voter fatigue. In addition to the presidency, Congress, state, and local officers, voters had to decide 17 ballot propositions on topics such as stem cell research, tribal gaming, and changes to the state's three strikes law. By the time people got down to local races for school board, many were exhausted. And then, when they got to the school board race, the information available to them, the ballot description, was wrong. Remember, Rocco's ballot description said he was a teacher, even though he was unemployed. Whose job was it to make sure that his ballot designation was accurate? We asked the Registrar of Voters, Mr. Neil Kelly. Could you describe what the rules are for ballot descriptions?
They're somewhat liberal, but the main thing with the election code, and that's the statute that I have to go by, says it's your principal vocation, occupation, profession for the last year, for the last 12 months. So for example, if you were a paralegal for the last 5 years, you could list paralegal on your ballot designation. You sign a declaration stating that that's the truth. In other words, we're not a policing agency to look into that.
So if I said I was a brain surgeon,
right,
and I put that down, would that go down?
Sure, but now here's where it kicks in, is there's a 10-day review period. So people that know you or may not know that you're a brain surgeon could challenge that designation.
They call you up and they say, Smoller's not a brain surgeon.
They do all the time.
And what do you do?
Well, we refer them to a court. So for example, they could file a case in court. It's an emergency hearing, and a judge at that point would make the determination based on evidence. If you came in and were able to prove that you were a brain surgeon, then the court could likely rule in your favor.
And so you'd have to hire an attorney to do that?
No, you don't. You could represent yourself pro per in court, and that happens all the time. It's somewhat of an informal process. You know, the courts try not to make it a cumbersome process.
Okay. So in the case of Orange Unified School District candidate Steve Rocco, whose responsibility was it to challenge the veracity of his statement?
Anyone in the public.
In this election, no one challenged Rocco's ballot description.